Hey, welcome. If you're new to the channel, my name's Elliott and you're watching Rickety Ski Reviews. Today, I'm gonna talk about skis and gear that I'm excited to test in the 2026 ski season. Now, I am lucky enough to be sent a lot of these skis or products by the companies, but not all of them. Some of them I bought out of pocket, some of them were sent to me by fans even. So I will make sure I disclose everything along the way. I do just want to give a big shout out to the brands that do send their skis. I am never paid for my reviews and I'm never paid to make content about these products. It is simply, hey, I'd like to test your skis. Here's where you can send them. That's it. That's the extent. There's no agreements or anything. So these are not paid or sponsored reviews. I just want to talk about stuff I'm really excited about. And a big shout out to our Patreons that allow me to be independent, that allow me to buy some of these products. And a big shout out to everyone who uses my affiliate links. Those are down in the description. And that has been one of the main ways I've been able to stay independent. So I really appreciate all of you guys for watching, using affiliate links, and a special shout out to our Patreons who are allowing me to have like a monthly budget of things that I can purchase when the brands don't want to send them. So without further ado, let's just jump into the gear I'm excited about. We'll start with skis and then work our way into the gear. Starting out is the DPS Carbon Piecework 79. These were reviewed last year in the shorter size. And I feel like my review is complete on that. But what is nice is they finally sent me the larger size so I can get a more accurate feel for the ski, play with some of the mounting points, and just get more mileage on a ski like this. This was a very quick turnaround. I was just sent like a test product. There were only 4 pairs of them. And then I made my review really quick and had to send them back ASAP. So I'm really excited to finally get some good mileage on these skis. These also are coming with the Phantom Glide, so I can finally test the DPS Phantom Glide on these skis and give you my honest opinions about that. But I think it's a really exciting ski. You know, it's a very niche product for springy, carved turns on softer snow, but I'm excited to kind of play, tweak with it, see how it does after some real mileage, how it breaks down. And so this is a ski I'm really just excited to put a ton of miles on. Again, shout out to DPS. They did send me the skis, but there's nothing else. They don't pay me, you know what I mean? I'm just sent the products and I give it my honest opinion. The next skis I'm excited about are the Volkl Revolt 101. Interestingly enough, with the Volkl line, I've mostly had my focus on the Mantra line, either the M7 Mantra, Mantra 88, Mantra 84. I used to race on Volkl skis, so I'm familiar with the Race Tiger. I've been able to ski the Volkl Blaze 104. That was kind of my first introduction to it. But I've yet to try their powder skis. They're kind of free ride, powder oriented skis. I've loved Volkl, you know, probably I was racing on them back in like 2006, 2007. Back at, what was my first pair of race skis I had? I had a pair of hand-me-down Volkl P60s. They were light yellow. Anyway, that's kind of dating myself. Oh, that would have been like 2005. Anyway, doesn't matter. I've historically really liked Volkl skis. They have a very distinct feel with the Mantra line, and I'm excited to try a wider variety of what they have to offer with their more free ride skis. And especially with these powder skis, because I like the Blaze 104 for light powder, but I'm very curious to see how Volkl puts their own kind of twist on a more freeride oriented ski. Like I said, these are 101 width underfoot. The pair that they sent me is a 182 centimeter length. These come with the marker bindings. These are a former demo ski, but that's fine. I don't need brand new skis. I just need the ski in hand, and I am really, really stoked to be trying these out this year. I also think that this kind of width tends to be very popular, just from what I see anecdotally for what sells out, what people are looking for. This 101 to 108 centimeter width for freeride powder skis seems to be really popular. So anyway, I don't have any opinions on any of this stuff. I haven't tested it, but I am so stoked just based on the shape and the splay. You've got a very early, very aggressive splay on these tips, and I am super curious about these. So big shout out Volkl. I mean, shout out to all these brands for sending them. Not everybody has the confidence to do this. I feel like it just shows a ton of cojones sending a ski, letting me give my honest opinion. There's never like a contract. Volkl isn't like you have to say this, this, and this. No, 100%, this is just gonna be my unfiltered opinion. After that, we've got the Rossignol Arcade 94 here in this kind of yellow. I love when Rossignol throws back to this yellow because I had a pair of the straight skis. They were like pulled out of a dumpster. They were hand-me-down of a hand-me-down. But I had a pair of the ones that were like this color yellow with kind of those leopard spots. For whatever reason, for me, I get really nostalgic when I see those yellow, or whenever I see some of their throwback top sheets. I feel like, I know it's aesthetic, but I do love when I see Rossignol kind of pull that stuff back. I used to race on Rossignol skis back in the Radical days. I had a pair of the GS skis in a 191, and those things were rockets, especially in like high school racing. If you could get a clean line, you could kind of, just build up so much speed. If they messed with you with the course setting, yeah, you get punished, but I don't know. I had a lot of good results just from that. The Rossignol Arcade 94, I'm really excited to be reviewing these for a few reasons. A lot of people just wanted to know about them. I really like the experience, and I'm excited to see how Rossignol transitioned from the experience to the arcade. Here's the 94. Let me get got the Rossignol Arcade 88 and the Rossignol Arcade 94. These are both going to be in a 178 centimeter length, which means these will have a 16 meter turn radius, while these have a 15 meter turn radius. Gosh dang. That's a very aggressive turn radius for this width. I guess these are more carving oriented skis. That is so aggressive for this kind of all mountain ski, especially compared to like how the experience felt. Anyway, I historically have really liked Rossignol skis. I've liked the Flex. I mean, I have no idea of knowing if I'll like these or not. What Rossignol skis have I liked historically? I like the experience. I mean, it was definitely long in the tooth. That's probably why they revitalized it and brought out the arcade. And then I really liked the Black Ops Sender that I tested. That's an older model. That was one of my first reviews, but it was a cool ski. Rossignol, historically for race skis, I've just really liked the flex and stability, especially when I was skiing on them. I was skiing on Rossignol from 2006? No, from 2007 until 2013. I raced on those skis and really liked them, especially the flex. They just had so much power and so much stability. I have no idea about these skis, like I said, but I'm very excited to test them. One, because the turn radius is very aggressive, and two, I liked the experience and I'm excited to see how they build from that platform. So shout out Rossignol, thanks for sending these. I'm also going to be reviewing this Rossi Sender Soul 102. I'm skiing these in a 180 centimeter length, which means they'll have a 16 meter turn radius. But I really liked the Sender Free 110. I wasn't so crazy about the Sender 104 Ti, so I'm really curious to see where the Sender Soul 102 lands. Is it gonna be more like the Free 110? Just from feeling these and flexing these, they feel like they've got more of that Free 110 DNA, but again, that's just speculation at this point. I really do have to put them on snow. But I've been so curious how they're gonna kind of branch the Sender series out, because the Sender series has gotten a little convoluted. You had the Black Ops line, you had the Sender line, you had the Sender Black Ops, right? It kind of goes all around, and it seems like they've learned a lot of lessons from the success of the Sender 110, and I'm excited to see how that ski performs at a 102 width, because I like the 110. I was like, I could see myself kind of daily driving some version of this. It's comfortable to carve, it feels good in the powder, and so anyway, this ski is, as far as the Rossi skis for off-trail skiing, definitely has a ton of my curiosity. Who knows, you know, you never know anything until you put these on snow, but I am excited to have access to ski on these. And the nice thing too is these all have Look SPX demo bindings, which is the binding that I have been daily driving on my Atomic Maverick 88 Ti's, is not the demo version, but the Look SPX. I like that binding. I think it's so slept on. Everyone goes straight for the pivot. The Look SPX is an awesome binding. So anyway, it's nice to just work with bindings that you're comfortable with, familiar with, and that work well. So we'll see. We'll see. It's a very popular ski. It seems like it scratches a lot of what people are looking for with that Bent 100, but only time will tell. All right, up next, I've got the Elan Ripstick 88. I am gonna be skiing these in a 182 centimeter length. I really like the Elan Ripstick 96. The 96 Black Edition, I didn't prefer actually compared to the Green Edition. And what I said in my short radius ski video was like, you know, on paper, maybe Elan Ripstick 96 isn't the first thing you think of, but they do turn really aggressively. They've got that asymmetrical shape, and for that width, they make really good short radius turns. And at a 182 centimeter length, these come in at a 16.8 centimeter turn radius, which is pretty aggressive. But in my experience, the radius that you see on paper is not the full story, and the 96 green has a very aggressive radius. It feels shorter than it actually is on paper. Part of that is the asymmetrical shape that these also have. I feel like, based on what I thought of the 96 greens, I am so excited to test out the Elon Ripstick 88. Like, being in that narrower width, having that same asymmetrical shape that the 96 green has, I just feel like, I'm like, oh my gosh, this in a narrower width would make so much sense for a lot of advanced skiers who want easy turn initiation and want to focus on the rest of the turn. So again, you never know, like there's more to a ski than the specs. It's a full symphony of how the shape works with the material and how that works with, you know, construction, mounting point. Everything kind of blends together for the full experience. But on paper, I think that there are a lot of people that this ski would really serve well, and I'm excited to see how it does in a narrow width. So shout out to Elon, thank you for sending these to me. I really appreciate the ability to test and review these, honestly. And I'm excited for some quick turns. I like that kind of stuff. And that kind of concludes the skis that were sent to me by the manufacturers. The rest of these will be things that I bought out of pocket as far as skis go. And first off, we have the Salomon Depart 1.0. Now, big shout out to everyone who makes this possible by watching my videos, using the affiliate links, and a special shout out to the Patreons for making this stuff possible. There's no world where I would go out and buy this on my own for like a personal ski, but for the sake of like science and for the sake of what people want to know about, this is a weird ski, and I think a lot of people are very curious about this, including myself. Now, the stats are weird. This is in a 180 centimeter length. It has a 15 meter turn radius. Okay. It has a 106 millimeter width underfoot. It comes in, at least according to Salomon, at 1,740 grams. I'm so curious about this. This is supposed to be a freestyle-ish kind of ski. It's supposed to also kind of be a powder ski. It's very outside of my normal comfort zone of what I specialize in, but people are gonna wanna know about this. Do you wanna know, is it a good powder ski? Is it good in the trees? Is it good in the moguls? Is this specifically only for park skiers? So I spent my own money out of pocket to buy these. I really appreciate you guys supporting me, so I can do that, and I'm gonna give you my honest opinion, because all I've seen on this is marketing, and Salomon was not willing to send me a pair. In fact, they're not willing to send me anything. I want to give my honest opinion about this, so I went out, bought it, and I wanna see what's all the hype about. This is a unique shape. It has a lot of people talking. Is it worth spending your hard-earned money on? Or, you know, is it for a different kind of audience? Is this specifically for freestyle skiers? Maybe I can even see if I can get Zach on them, no promises. He's very busy, but I'm curious, so I went out and bought these. We'll see. Only time will tell. Again, another ski I bought myself. This is the Atomic Maverick 96 CTI. This is the update to my beloved Atomic Maverick line. Last year, I reviewed the 88 CTI for 2026, and it was not a big, but a noticeable downgrade from the previous Maverick design. And I'm gonna give you my honest opinion about this. Sometimes these design changes make more sense in a different width. We'll see if the 88 is anything to go off of. This is gonna be approaching more of that free ride crowd. I had to mess with the mounting point of the 88s, so I have a feeling that I'll probably have to do that on these as well. I'm skiing these in a 186, which means they'll have a 19 meter turn radius. The smaller version is gonna come in at 1,900 grams. We'll see, only time will tell. Again, Atomic did not send me these skis. Atomic promised to send a pair of Redsters last year and just never did. I can never get a hold of anyone. Who knows? Who knows what's going on with Atomic? Same with Salomon. I have worked with them in the past, and they were really cool, and I've met them out in Mount Hood to like test skis. If you're being like top end cynical, that there might be a reason they didn't send me the Mavericks or even want to talk about it, because the Maverick 88 Ti to 88 CTI is less of a carving focused ski. It's more of a free ride freestyle ski, and that is not my jam. I prefer carving. You know, I don't think that they knew that. I think that it would probably be more they're just not paying attention, or they don't care, or whatever. You know, and list any 100 reasons, that is probably more likely. But I do not have access to Atomic skis, and because of you guys and because of your support, I'm able to go out and buy these and give my honest opinion, and I'm very excited to test these because I love the 95 Ti's. I love the 100 Ti's. I even like the 105 CTIs. And I don't hate the 88 CTIs. They're not bad skis, but I'm very curious to see what the wider width feels if that whole thing comes together in a wider width. We'll see, I guess. All right, lastly, for skis that I'm gonna be testing, I mean, there's definitely more skis on the horizon. This is just what's here. And I always have the mind of like, don't count your chickens until they hatch, same thing. I don't plan a ski review until it actually shows up. So this is kind of the cue. This is what is here. There's other stuff on the way, but here's my last one that I have like on hand that I'm excited to test. Again, bought this out of pocket. This is the 2026 Atomic Maverick 115 CTI. I'm mostly excited about this just to compare it to the Atomic Bent 120. That big kahuna ski of a Bent 120, I think is my favorite bent. It took me a while to kind of get to the ability to test it out. And the way that I like the Maverick 105 CTI for down the hill, for aggressive lines, I am even more excited to test out this Maverick 115 CTI. Now, similar to the Bent 120, I'm testing it in a big length. This is the 193 centimeter length. These things are just gigantic, but it's weird because a lot of brands don't want to send me their bigger, wider skis. They kind of want to send me the popular widths at the 104, the 110, whatever. And I get that because probably realistically, that's where the volume is and that's who they're trying to approach. And the nice thing with having this independent support is I can go, okay, well, I still think there are people who want to know about these more obscure sizes, the more obscure widths, the more obscure skis. So I'm gonna be testing out the 115 CTI. I mean, I know this isn't like an indie brand, and I definitely want to get on more of those skis. I am so excited to test out the 115 CTI, see what these things are made out of, and really take them on a big powder day. So also just to see how the 105 CTI carries out in a wider width. Not much else to say, honestly, until I get these on snow, but this is probably one of my more exciting skis to test. There's a bunch of them, like on a deep powder day where I really am just keen to see what they're made out of. There's the same for like some of those DPS skis. Like what do they make? They make like the Carbon Lotus in like a 120 or a 112 or 118, whatever it is. Like I want to try some wider DPS skis. Unfortunately, what's at my shop is kind of limited. And I think DPS kind of sees me as being more carving. I don't know how DPS sees me, but I really do want to test more big, wide skis, and that makes me really excited about these in particular because I have historically liked the Maverick series. I really like the Bent 120s, and I'm excited to see kind of the Maverick version of that width or compare and contrast them to the Bent 120s. Okay, and this next one actually just came, like the UPS guy just came. Also, the UPS guy must think I'm nuts. All right, this one's from Stokely. Sweet, well this one's fresh, right? Made it right under the wire. I'll be reviewing the Stokely Stormrider 88 in a 184 centimeter length. I did test these for half a day up at Sun Valley when I met up with the Stokely rep, but it was a very bad condition day and I'm excited to get these on a more controlled area. But my first impressions with these were really positive because I like the Stormrider 88 and I had done my review for the previous gen version right before I tested this version out. And my first impression was just that Stokely does a really good job of not just reworking and throwing the baby out with the bathwater when they make their changes. I feel like they kind of refine and fine tune their products. It may not sound like that means anything, but it makes it so you don't just get a big overhaul like you do with the Atomic Maverick, where they just kind of throw the baby out with the bathwater. Whereas Stokely is like, it's just, okay, we made some subtle changes or we want it to better suit this audience in a very gradual and progressive way. Which means that if you've tried a Stormrider in the past, you at least have an understanding of what the platform is going to be like. So for this, what I like a lot is that it's a lot easier to initiate the beginning of the turn. And I think that for those people who want the Stokely smoothness and the Stokely performance, they're still getting that while having access to an easier turn initiation and while being able to get the ski on edge and get that smooth feel without as much like precision timing, if that makes any sense. You can really start these turns a lot easier. So if you're somebody who's coming from like an Elan ripstick, but you want that smoothness of a Stokely, you want to feel that premium turn, you're not gonna have to like just nail your timing. You can kind of have something that's gonna give you time to negotiate. It's gonna let you release your turn at different parts of the ski. Again, I wanna get more mileage before I really like tell you more about the ski because I don't think I'm gonna give you anything all that accurate. But my first impression, really what stood out to me, the big change that I noticed was with that turn initiation, with how easily it starts up its turn without making a lot of sacrifices in that dampness or in that smooth Stokely turn. And I am so excited to get real proper mileage on these skis. So I'll give you a full review. I just wanted to kind of showcase these. These have a 19.5 meter turn radius with the 184, which I find surprising. I guess we'll put them on snow and see. But I would guess that you can probably massage out a little bit of a tighter turn radius. But again, turn radiuses on paper versus on snow, you never know. But I'm very excited. I like the top sheet changes while still having that classic Storm Rider look. Years and years ago, I used to write ski reviews. Like, it was kind of my first crack at it, I guess, so to speak. And the Storm Rider 88 was my ski of the year. Because when I first saw it, when ski prices were a little bit different, like it's like, what, a decade ago now? But I was like, oh, who's gonna pay this much for a ski? That was so wrong. I tried this and the Laser, and the Laser was like the top end performer. But the Storm Rider, to me, I was like, oh, I get it now. Like, this is doing such a good job. Because back in like 2015, free ride skis and carving skis were miles apart. And this was one of the first skis that, in my opinion, at least the older version, that kind of bridged that gap. And I am really excited to see kind of more iterations of this Storm Rider. So shout out Stokely for sending these and letting me test and review these. Again, I'm not paid by Stokely. They just send me the skis and I give my honest opinions. But they are always just so confident in their products. And it's been a phenomenal company to work with. So shout out to Stokely. I'm excited to get a ton of mileage on these. Oh my gosh, you guys aren't gonna believe this, but I was going to move the skis like out and in from the shed in between takes, and I whacked my head off of the, I had the little door slightly closed to block the sunlight. Just whacked my forehead off of the top. Holy cow, I'm gonna look like the boy who lived. Okay. Well, that's a smoother transition as any. Now let's talk about not the skis, but just some of the soft goods and gear I'm excited to test for the 2026 season, and just ignore this giant goose egg that's gonna pop out of my head in the next 30 seconds. Okay, I've talked about this quite a bit, so I'll keep it brief, but the other product that I'm really excited to test in this 2026 season is the Atomic Remedy 130. I'm still trying to find a pair of ZipFit GFTs. ZipFit doesn't provide me products, Atomic doesn't provide me products. Both of those are paid for out of pocket. I am in talks with ZipFit about testing more of their stuff in the future. We'll see, but as of right now, I'm riding solo, spending my own money. Same for Atomic. So far, the break-in with these has been pretty good. I have liked the fit. They're definitely a little bit more snug than my Atomic Hawks Primes, but all in all, I've been happy. The only thing I'm having trouble with is this top buckle here is so tight for whatever reason. But again, I think that will just come with that break-in period. I'm excited to see a more carving focused boot, but that being said, I've never had any issues carving with my Atomic Hawks Primes. I think it'll be nice to have something to contrast and compare, and especially for me, as somebody who's more focused on carving, and before my Atomic Hawks Primes or laying LX120s, I think I had? I don't remember. God, that hitting my head just knocked it out of me. Prior to this, I had race boots. I had like the Lang Baby Blues that Julian Mancuso had, and I used them forever. And I just kind of kept using them, and they got so broken down. And once I got out of race boots, I was excited to be in an all-mountain boot where it's just more comfortable for a long day of skiing. But I've been really hesitant to return to any kind of race boot, and this seems like the perfect reintroduction to aggressive carving boots. So I'm excited to test this. You know, I can't give you an opinion until I put real mileage on it, but so far just wearing them around the house or when I edit videos, these have been comfortable so far. After that, a lot of you guys left comments on my goggle video wanting to see this, so I reached out to the company and they were willing to send me their product. Oh my gosh, that's a big banger. Okay, they were willing to send me their products. You know, I'm not getting paid by them. I'm just gonna give you my honest review of it, but Smith was willing to send me their goggles to review and test. They sent me the Smith Squad with ChromaPop lenses. I'm not sure what to think. I've never owned Smith goggles myself. When they first came out, I had friends that had them, and I think that they had some kind of weird construction, or you would sometimes see the bands kind of break on the sides, but that was 15 to 20 years ago now, and I've heard nothing but good things. I have family members that have raved about these. My dad uses these, and he was like, oh, make sure you have the ChromaPop. And I was like, okay, it says ChromaPop. My dad really likes it, so I have gotten not only a ton of comments from you guys on my videos wanting to see the Smith goggles reviewed, but also from like personal friends and family. So I'm gonna give these my honest opinion. I am also being sent the Smith Vantage helmet to test out in white. I don't have it on hand, I think it's in the mail, but you know, shout out, I'm excited to test both of those products. It seems like Smith is making good helmets. It has the MIPS and everything. I have been kind of a lifelong devoted POC helmet skier, but I think that Smith is at the caliber now where I'm comfortable testing both of them. So I will be testing both the Smith goggles and the Smith helmet for this 2026 season. There are a couple of other helmet and goggle brands that are interested, but this is who has actually sent product, and you know, you can't count your eggs until they've hatched. I feel that same way about this. Smith, I'm really excited to be testing their products without being paid anything and give you guys my full review of both the helmet and the goggles. I think it's nice too when you can do the helmet and the goggles together, because it seems unfair to like comment on any kind of goggle gap if you're not fully in that ecosystem, if that makes sense. I'm also this season gonna be testing the Level gloves. This is their Darth Mitt, not Dartmouth. Darth Mitt in red. They're supposed to be also sending a pair of the World Cup mittens so I can kind of do apples to apples with the leaking and everything else, or lecky, that I'm currently daily driving. But I think this will be cool because not everybody is looking for race mitts, and I think that this is a pretty common mitt that people are looking at. I like the color. I like kind of the little attention to details on the tops of the mitts here. Again, I have no opinions of these. I'm totally going in blind, but I did really like the Level race mitts that I tried last year. They were very tough material-wise, and I'm excited to see kind of more of the average product that people are going to be looking at. These look warm, these look lofty, but the leather feels premium from the outside. But again, they gotta get some mileage before we really see how well these are built. But shout out Level mitts. I feel like they were so confident in their products and excited to work together, and I'm excited to test more of their mittens. Beyond that, I talked about this in a recent video that I was selected for Backcountry's like advertisement thing. Like they basically put out a bounty and you test and review stuff. But the whole reason I did it in the first place, thinking that they probably wouldn't select me as the winner, you know, because I'm not exactly Dolly Parton over here. But I was sent the Backcountry Pine line. This is like the bottoms. This is the pine, which is like their synthetic line, and then also the elm, which is the merino wool line. So far, just running around the house, I do prefer the wool. I just prefer merino wool in general, but I do think that synthetics have a place, especially in really cold days. That being said, like full disclosure, I was paid to make a 30 to 45 second video on these, I guess. I went into it thinking I was just gonna get it sent and then not get selected, but at least I could test it. But I will be testing Backcountry's base layers. I will always disclose, you know, that they did pay me for a promotion in the past, but I won't be affected by that if I give my opinion on it. So, but I don't know, you should know. Full disclosure, I guess. But I'm gonna test these and I wanna get more mileage on them so I can tell you guys what I think. The base layer I was not paid to talk about, but is probably my favorite base layer I have ever had. I was sent more product to test from Ibex. They sent their jogger pant, which I'm planning on taking on my trip. They also sent me their just daily socks, which I have loved, and a hat. None of that really matters though. I was sent their base layers and these bottoms. Let me open them up for you so you can see. I think they're called the Nomad. Let me see if I got that right. Yeah, the Nomad jogger. Ibex, and I'm not paid to say any of this. They just send me the product and I test it. Ibex so far has been the softest wool product I've ever tested. They're pretty, the like second runner up might be like Icebreaker and Smart Wool. I'm testing some of that now and I think they're getting pretty close. Mammut's is really warm, but so far for softness, wearing around the house, this is my favorite. I have 2 or 3 other base layers from Ibex that are my favorite ones to wear around the house. It is the softest merino wool. How it holds up for skiing will be a whole nother story, so I will want to give you my totally like accurate thoughts on that and really put those through that test. But man, as far as softness goes, as far as like what I want to go to bed in every night, it is 10 out of 10 times this Ibex soft merino wool. And also shout out to Ibex. Like I appreciate that they're willing to let me test it. I'm not the most like flashy influencer guy. I'm pretty brutal, and that was surprising me. I've never owned Ibex stuff before. It wasn't even really on my radar. I just got pinged like through one of my affiliate channels and I'm like, okay, we'll just send it. I'm not gonna talk about it until I test it. And I was like, oh my God, what have I stumbled into? It's so, so soft. And again, You know, if I'm being paid by Backcountry, I should be pointing you there. And that stuff's warm and I like it, but this is the softest, hands down. Just being honest with you guys, I don't know. Maybe at my own detriment. The last products I'm gonna talk about, were not sent to me. This was something I was able to buy with my Patreon, but I will be testing and using for my footage the GoPro Max 2. The big reason that I wanted to upgrade my GoPro Max that I have here is honestly, this does not connect to Bluetooth mics, so you can't have a lapel mic close by to get good audio, especially when you're skiing and it's windy. I really think that's gonna be a big upgrade. It's also going to allow me to have 2 cameras, so when I shoot with Zach, we don't have to trade back and forth. I'm hoping I can get extra shooting angles. I also went out and got this mount that I can clip to the tops of my skis for different angles, and these Rhodes Wireless Pro mics that are gonna allow me to get better audio when I'm out on the hill. So big shout out to all of our Patrons. Thank you for supporting me so that I can upgrade this equipment and get you just, I don't know, better footage and more on the snow thoughts. I still have to figure out how I'm gonna set it up. I'm still planning on talking about the product in the studio here. I like that quality better, but this will be huge, especially when I'm traveling, for being able to have everything kind of all in one place. And I really appreciate the support from Patreon so I could make these upgrades. The last product I've been testing and I'm gonna test further, these were sent to me by a fan. Shout out to them. I don't know if they wanna be named, so maybe I'll name them in the future. Maybe I should ask them. But they have sent me a pair of Vornay sunglasses, and I've been testing this and another model. These are hands down the nicest sunglasses I have ever owned. They put Oakley's lenses to shame. Well, not to shame, but I didn't think there was a tier above that Prism, and oh my God, these are the nicest sunglasses I've ever owned. I wouldn't have bought these myself, and actually, if you want to know something really interesting, this is the exact same frame as a pair my dad had. Obviously his are like super scuffed up versus these, but I was kind of in shock. I was like, where did you get these? How do you have this exact same thing I've had for 20 years from my dad? Anyway, I'm not paid. I don't even have an affiliate link for Vornay. I'm gonna test this specific model more during the 2026 season when I'm driving up and down Bogus Basin. But so far, Vornay, am I saying that right? Vornay? This is hands down the nicest sunglasses I have ever tested or tried or put on my face, and I've been blown away so far. I'm excited to do this model specifically because I think it fits my face well for driving, but holy guacamole. I'm really appreciative of this fan for sending them to me so I can test them out, and I'm excited to give you guys my more full thoughts going into 2026 on this sunglass brand. So I think that about wraps up everything I'm gonna be testing. I know Arcade Belts sent a couple of new belts. Those have been kind of interesting because it seems like they're playing with the buckle size and a few things there. But as far as I can think of, that's everything that I've received so far that I'm gonna be testing for 2026. Now, stuff always kind of rolls in later in the year. I'm sure there will be more. Maybe I'll have to make a part 2. I know a couple of ski brands have told me like, hey, stuff's on the way, there's some kind of delay. But I just wanted to kind of mention everything that is here on hand that I'm excited to test in 2026. I'm so excited to test some of these new products, or I've been really blown away by some of them that I've already tried just around the house. But I do want to just acknowledge, I feel really privileged and really lucky that I get access to these products, and I know that I wouldn't have that without you guys. So thank you to you guys just watching my videos. Thank you to everyone who supports me on Patreon. Thank you to everyone who leaves supportive comments and puts comments on other brands' videos saying, hey, I want Rickety ski reviews. I see some of that stuff. It's never lost on me that this isn't something I did on my own. This is something I have access to because of you, and I am extremely grateful to have access to these products so I can give you my honest opinion. I don't think I'm the end-all, be-all, last opinion out there, but I'm grateful I can just give you guys my 2 cents on these products without having to take money from the ski brands, and that just straight up would not happen without you guys. So I'm always grateful, I'm always appreciative, and a big thank you to you guys at home watching. Also, a big shout out to these brands that sent the product, that are willing to let me test, that have the kind of confidence in their products to let me give my unfiltered opinion. It's never lost on me that these brands kind of stand out from the others as being really confident in what they're doing and working with somebody independent like me. So thank you, you guys. Thank you to the brands. And of course, as always, I'll see you in the next one. See ya.